Alright, so I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, okay, how many ways of virtually extracting teeth do I really need to know? And I've shared two different techniques on my videos in the past, so I get it. But at the same time, we're always looking to improve things, make things easier. So one of the biggest steps in doing it, and probably the longest step in doing the virtual extraction, I would say, is selecting the tooth. So traditionally, we'll go ahead and we'll come over here to select tooth. We will use our either slide here or press the bracket buttons to make it smaller, and you'll come through and you'll highlight the tooth, and you've got to be a little bit careful. You don't have to be too careful. The tissue will compress if you accidentally get a little bit of it, but still it takes a little while, and depending on the shape, and this is a pretty ideal tooth setup and everything, it can take a while, and you're just trying to get every last little detail. And oops, and you accidentally do that, you had to hit Control Z, and so you get the idea. So it can be a little tedious. One of the things I've mentioned in other videos is the idea of creating surface groups. So let's say we have gone through here and we've highlighted this and we want to do something, but I want to highlight another tooth, but sort of separately. I'll give you an idea here. If I come up here to modify, come over here to create face group, it's going to turn that a different color. Now I can go through and select another tooth. Shortcut is Control G. Select another tooth. I know that I'm not selecting the whole thing, but just for the sake of this video, let's pretend I am. Control G. So now I've created these, pastel Easter egg looking teeth. And so if I ever want, I can still select like normal and just kind of come across and it doesn't change anything. But if instead I want to individually select a tooth, I can hover over top of any single color, wherever the red dot is, not the entire circle, just wherever my red dot, if you can kind of see that underneath my cursor, it will select that. Even though I'm hanging off, if I press once it gets both, but if I press it twice, it just selects the color. Same thing if I select the gray, because the gray is one solid surface group. Notice that the green did not get selected because it's a separate surface group. If I want to select everything, I can hit Control A, that's Control All, or Select All. That works in lots of programs. But so this is surface groups. We've created these different surface groups. So what if I wanted to extract this tooth? I could just double click, and now it's selected, and I can delete the tooth and go on from there. Now you're not going to want to go through and paint every single tooth and then go back and delete the one tooth you need to delete, for a surgical case. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of these surface groups. To do so, I'm going to show you. Just hit Control A, Modify, Clear Face Groups, or Control Shift G. Okay, so they're all gone. They're disappeared. We're starting over. If I want, if I wanted to select these teeth and get them all separated right away, I can actually come over to Edit, say Generate Face Groups. And what it does is it looks at these models and it looks for grooves and things that can be isolated. Now, the worse your model is, the worse it's going to have it's going to be able to do it, because it's looking for changes in architecture. Okay, so let's look at these little dials up here. Angle threshold. So that is basically the greater the angle threshold, the less likely it is to separate teeth. Okay, the higher the threshold, the less. Basically, it's saying that it takes a bigger change in angle for it to designate a new surface. So if I come down here to a small one, it's like every single change in architecture is a new angle. Okay, so you kind of want to go until you find a good number. I will tell you that in my testing, 9 seems to be a pretty good number. It doesn't get every single tooth. Okay, but if you look here, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, these incisors didn't. The canine did. It's a slightly different color, and the molar. Okay, so I could try 8. I think that'll be a bad choice. I think these incisors down here are going to struggle a little bit, and that's okay. But so I'm going to come back up to 9, and I'm also going to change the size threshold, because that's basically allowing us to have all these small areas. Okay, so if I come up to here and I start changing these, getting this super high, it's saying that no, it has to be a very big surface before it's allowed to be a specific tooth. Okay, so this didn't work for every single tooth in this model, but I found that it works quite a bit. So let's go ahead and see which teeth I have been able to select with this method. Go ahead and accept. And so now I can come over here, I can double click, and that tooth's selected. Oh, the lingual is a separate surface area. Now it's selected. And click on these colors. Once again, I'm not having to be real careful with what I'm selecting because it's already determined what the surface group is going to be. Okay, so again, this is not an exact science. The software is doing a pretty good job of deciphering what's teeth and what's just the model in general. And so I'm going around here and I'm selecting all the teeth that have been well segmented by the software. The rest of them did not. And again, that comes down to giving it really defined margins. And sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So anyway, hopefully that helps. That might be a little idea for you guys. Because to finish this up, segmentation, extraction. Well, if I want to, I can double click this tooth, get this inside. And now I'm back to my normal tools. I can hit the F button for erase and fill, change out my scale. My other videos go over this, and now I've got an ovate Pontic site. Okay? All right. I'll finish this up, guys. Hope that helps.